Hey, what's happening everyone? I am Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com, and today I'm here to provide you with my review for XBlaze Lost Memories, which is available for both the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 3. In this game, it's pretty much a visual novel, and it's based on the BlazBlue universe and a sequel to XBlaze Code Embryo. Pretty much in this game, you are playing as a pink-haired protagonist, and which you get to name on your playthrough as she navigates through these weird and wondrous alternate realities, and of course with the help of this mysterious girl by the name Nobody, in order to save her sister who happens to disappear into this unknown world, while she is tasked to finding these items known as memory fragments that are crystallized memories that not only serve as keys to move on to the next floor, but also to uncover the identity and the story of the person those memories belong to. Now, going over the graphics, visually this game, or in this case a visual novel, looked really good. It almost felt like I was watching a feature-length movie or just another episode of some anime form. But overall, the visual department for this game slash visual novel was really good, definitely pleasing, especially with the set locations, the characters, everything about it was nicely detailed. Now, going over the gameplay is very simple because most of the time you're just there listening and watching exactly what happens in this visual novel, but there is some slight gameplay mechanics here. When you're actually involved, such as I would say in between chapters, there's a minor task that you actually have to do, which is to move around your character to collect these blue orbs, which are known as memory fragments. You will need to collect 4 in order to proceed to the next level, or in this case what I call the next chapter. And of course, when you do that, you actually also have to answer 4 common questions, which are basically kind of a refresher course of what happened during that specific chapter, and you could only proceed once you answer all 4 correctly. If you happen to get one wrong, you don't have to do everything all over again, you just have to basically answer those 4 questions once again, and that's relatively it. And then of course you begin by watching the story, rinse and repeat until everything comes to an end. Now, going over the sound design, when you have a game that's primarily focused on story, especially a visual novel, there's a few things that you gotta make sure you have correctly. It is not only the visuals, but of course you gotta have good storytelling, you gotta have good characters, voice work, music, you gotta have everything to go along with it to tell a really good story, and this game definitely captured everything correctly. Whoever does the voices for the characters did a splendid job capturing all of them greatly, not only from the main 2 characters in the game, but also too when you're going back into these memory fragments and seeing the story from this other perspective. Everything about it was top quality. It felt like you're watching a show or a movie. Just everything in the sound design was excellent. Now, going over the lifespan, honestly this game doesn't really offer a high replayability. It's one of those games that you may play once or twice and you might come back to after a few months or a year later. But other than that, that's really about it. Like I said, not much involved with the gameplay elements, and it's just primarily focused on story. So you'd be pretty much sitting there hours and hours just listening to everything that's going on in the game, and then making, answering some common questions, and that's relatively it. There's no like Easter eggs or things like that to collect, so replay value is extremely low, but enjoyable. As for the innovation, was there anything new here? Was this something that we already seen before? There's not really that much of a big innovation compared to the last visual novel games, but what I did take notice is that they improved upon that, such as making sure everything was voiced instead of, a mixture between voiced and non-voiced characters, and pretty much everything played out quite well, and it definitely takes out the struggle from what people had from the last visual novel game where you kind of had to do things correctly in order to proceed to the story. Here you just had a simple process of collecting memory fragments, answering 4 simple questions, and the story is able to proceed to the next chapter. I thought having something like that so people could sit there, enjoy the story, was relatively a good idea, and I definitely like the changes that they made for it. However, for the price of $40, that's a bit of a steep price for a visual novel type of game. My recommendation, if you are interested, which I do recommend it, I definitely recommend if you could get this for a good sale price around $30 or less. But if you could get it for around that price, it's definitely worth picking up, and if you're a big fan of the BlazBlue universe. But until then, I am Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com. I give this game a 8 out of 10. But until then, I am Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com, where we empower your gaming.